Washington State has passed a landmark law that will change the way landlords keep their tenants safe during extreme heat. ESHB 1840, known as the Cooling Standard for Rental Housing Act, is the first law of its kind in the United States. It requires landlords to maintain indoor temperatures at or below 80 degrees Fahrenheit in rental units when outdoor temperatures exceed 85 degrees. This law was born from tragedy. The deadly June 2021 heat dome pushed temperatures in Washington to record highs, over 112 degrees in Seattle, and killed more than 100 people in the state. Most victims were elderly, low income, or living alone without access to cooling. According to the CDC, found at cdc.gov, extreme heat kills more Americans every year than floods, hurricanes, and tornadoes combined. Nearly 40% of rental units in the Pacific Northwest lack any form of air conditioning, according to the U.S. Census American Housing Survey. As stated on the official website of the Washington State Legislature at p.leg.wa.gov, the full text of ESHB 1840 establishes a clear, enforceable standard for cooling in rental housing. Scan the QR code on this slide to read the bill summary on the legislature's website. Now let's talk about why this law was urgently needed. Extreme heat is a public health emergency. The June 2021 heat dome was a wake-up call for Washington. Temperatures hit 116 degrees in Portland and 112 in Seattle, the hottest ever recorded in the state. Over 100 Washingtonians died from heat-related causes during that single event. Most of the victims were seniors living alone, people with chronic health conditions, and low-income renters who simply had no way to cool their homes. The CDC confirms that extreme heat kills more Americans annually than all other natural disasters combined, over 1,200 deaths per year nationwide. According to the U.S. Census American Housing Survey, roughly 40% of rental units in the Pacific Northwest lack any air conditioning whatsoever. And climate projections from NOAA show that Pacific Northwest heat waves are becoming more frequent, more intense, and longer lasting. For more information, visit the CDC's Extreme Heat resource at cdc.gov/extreme-heat, linked by the QR code on this slide. Let's break down exactly what ESHB 1840 requires. The law establishes a maximum indoor temperature of 80 degrees Fahrenheit for rental units. This temperature is measured at 3 feet above the floor in the center of the living room, creating a clear, objective standard that both tenants and landlords can verify. Landlords must provide and maintain cooling devices like air conditioning units, heat pumps, or evaporative coolers that are capable of meeting this standard. The law takes effect in 2026 with a phased implementation schedule to give landlords time to install or upgrade cooling systems. Enforcement happens through local health departments and through tenant lawsuits under the Residential Landlord-Tenant Act found in RCW 59.18. Importantly, the law prohibits landlords from retaliating against tenants who report cooling violations. The Washington Department of Commerce is also directed to establish programs helping low-income landlords and tenants with cooling costs and energy efficiency upgrades. You can find the full text of RCW 59.18 by scanning the QR code on this slide, which links directly to the Washington State Legislature's website at apps.leg.wa.gov/RCW. As a Washington renter, you have specific legal rights under this new law. You have the right to a cool and safe home during extreme heat. Your landlord must provide and maintain a working cooling system that keeps your apartment at or below 80 degrees. If your air conditioner or cooling device breaks down, you should notify your landlord in writing. They must make repairs within a reasonable time frame, typically 24 to 48 hours during a heat emergency. If your landlord fails to provide adequate cooling, you can file a complaint with your local health department or code enforcement agency. Under RCW 59.18, landlords cannot retaliate against you for reporting violations. They cannot raise your rent, evict you, or harass you for asserting your rights. Washington law also allows tenants to withhold rent or deduct repair costs if the landlord fails to maintain habitable conditions, including adequate cooling. For free legal help, visit Washington Law Help at washingtonlawhelp.org, linked by the QR code on this slide. They provide sample letters, tenant rights guides, and referrals to low-cost legal assistance. For landlords, this law creates clear responsibilities. You must install and maintain cooling systems capable of keeping rental units at or below 80 degrees Fahrenheit. This can include window air conditioning units, central air, heat pumps, or evaporative coolers. Cooling devices must be kept in good working order. Filters must be cleaned or replaced regularly, and annual preseason inspections are strongly recommended. The Washington Department of Commerce offers weatherization assistance and energy efficiency programs to help reduce the cost of cooling improvements. These programs can also help lower tenant utility bills, which is a win for everyone. Compliance is phased. Larger buildings must comply first, with additional time for smaller properties. Check the Washington Department of Commerce website at commerce.wa.gov for your specific compliance deadline. And remember, document everything. Keep records of cooling system installation, maintenance, and temperature readings. Proper documentation is your best defense against tenant complaints and legal claims. Staying safe during extreme heat requires knowing what to do. Learn the warning signs of heat illness. Heat exhaustion symptoms include heavy sweating, weakness, cold and clammy skin, nausea, and fainting. Heat stroke is a medical emergency with symptoms including hot red skin, a body temperature above 103 degrees, confusion, and loss of consciousness. If you suspect heat stroke, call 911 immediately. During extreme heat events, cities open public cooling centers. Find locations through your local health department or by calling 211. Libraries, community centers, and senior centers often serve as cooling stations. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water before you feel thirsty. Avoid alcohol, caffeine, and sugary drinks. The Washington Department of Health recommends 8 to 10 glasses of water per day during heat waves. Check on elderly family members, neighbors with disabilities, and those without air conditioning. The National Weather Service recommends a buddy system during heat waves. Find their safety guide at weather.gov/safety/heat. The QR code on this slide will take you directly to the NWS Heat Safety page. Help is available for cooling costs. The Washington Department of Commerce offers grants and loans to low-income households for cooling equipment, weatherization, and energy bill assistance. LIHEAP, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, is a federal program that helps with home cooling costs, including air conditioner purchases, repairs, and utility bills. Weatherization assistance provides free energy efficiency upgrades for income-qualified households, including insulation, window sealing, and heat pump installation. Many Washington utilities offer rebates for energy-efficient AC units, heat pumps, and smart thermostats. Check with Puget Sound Energy, Seattle City Light, Avista, and other local providers for their specific programs. HUD housing assistance also includes weatherization funding for public housing and Section 8 units. Contact your local housing authority for cooling-related assistance and emergency repair funds. Scan the QR code on this slide to visit the Washington Department of Commerce Energy Assistance page at commerce.wa.gov. Washington's law is truly a first in the nation achievement. No other state has yet passed a law requiring landlords to maintain a specific indoor temperature standard during extreme heat. California, Oregon, Nevada, and New York are now considering similar legislation, with bills modeled on Washington's ESHB 1840 introduced in their state legislatures. At the federal level, there is currently no national cooling standard for rental housing. The EPA's Heat Island Reduction Program at epa.gov/heatislands provides guidance, but states must act independently. Other countries already have cooling standards. The United Kingdom sets a maximum bedroom temperature of 79 degrees Fahrenheit in social housing, and France requires cooling when indoor temperatures exceed 82 degrees. Washington's law could serve as a model for federal legislation as climate change accelerates. The QR code on this slide links to the EPA's Heat Island Reduction Program for more information on community cooling strategies. Here are the key takeaways you need to remember. First, ESHB 1840 requires Washington landlords to keep rental units at or below 80 degrees Fahrenheit when outdoor temperatures exceed 85 degrees. Second, landlords must provide and maintain functioning cooling devices, and the law is enforced through local health departments and tenant lawsuits under RCW 59.18. Third, tenants have the right to cooling, the right to report violations without retaliation, and access to remedies including rent withholding. Fourth, financial assistance is available through the Washington Department of Commerce, LIHEAP, weatherization programs, and local utility rebates. And fifth, Washington's landmark law is a national first that creates a model for other states. As extreme heat events become more frequent, knowing your rights and staying prepared can save your life. Visit the Washington State Legislature's website at apeb.leg.wa.gov to read ESHB 1840 in full. Scan the QR code on this slide for a direct link to the bill summary. Stay cool, stay informed, and know your rights.